about preseason games. Oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants. So Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
And none out. A fly that one to center field. Alexander moves on.
Can't see it.
He lost it. That's going to fall. It's on the track. It's up against the wall. One run is in. Here comes Yoshida rounding. A throw home. It's up the line. Another lost ball at Fenway. That has burned both teams tonight. But it's burned Baltimore a lot worse.
Yeah, that
Red Sox get...
That wasn't great, to say the least. That's courtesy of Nesson. As Blaze Alexander, I'm not going to stop praising him. I'm not going to suggest that he isn't a ball player, but maybe the thing where you just want him to be able to play every position really well. Maybe that's more hopeful than it is practical. Not to say that I think he is incapable of playing center field, but just, yeah. Hi, good morning. It is Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn, he's Griffin, and the Orioles we're going to lose baseball games again in the future. I know it was nice to think that as they had won 8 of 11, that maybe they were not going to lose baseball games, but it was going to happen. The question continues to be, can they sustain momentum? And again, I'm not trying to oversell one particular baseball game. If they lose today but go sweep the Blue Jays this weekend, then I think we would say that they still sustain momentum despite losing a series in the middle of the week. But it puts a significant burden. This is the problem with suggesting that it's mission accomplished. Or that, as Ken said yesterday, it's time to... We should do something with that, by the way, for social. It's time to... People were getting very worked up about Ken suggesting that we needed to apologize to Mike Elias. When you... All's good here, it's not an accurate reflection of where the Orioles are. They still have to prove that. Right now, they're a team that's 4 games under 500. You can say they're 8-4 in their last 12 games, which is good, but that's a small sample size. What they are is a team that's 4 games under 500 in June. Today matters. It's more about, do you sustain momentum to have a chance to be over 500 and out of this, hey, every series matters, every game matters type of feeling moving towards August 4th. And that's why every time I say, I know we're not supposed to react this way or pretend like any one game, they all still kind of do matter a little bit more than they should because of the hole that the Orioles dug for themselves. Last night, I guess Chris Bassett is okay. The way that I understand it is this is something that he just deals with his back. Doesn't seem ideal.
No.
Talk about all the risk that's involved with signing pitchers. Like, even when you sign a guy for 1 year, you can say, hey, there's no such thing as a bad 1-year deal. But when that person is dealing with, like, chronic back issues, I don't know. Hopefully it's not overly significant. He clearly wasn't good before he left the game. No one was, other than, I guess, Taylor Ward was good last night.
Yeah. Adley hit a triple.
Yeah, we'll call that a triple.
Why? What I mean, were you going to catch it? Was Blaze going to catch that ball?
No, you know what? That part is probably true, too. You're probably right about both of those things. I don't have a whole lot. What would we say about last night's game?
I think we look ahead to, will Trevor Rogers be back? I guess that's probably the question you have coming out of it.
The next sort of question that faces the team is Trevor Rogers back? I know there was some debate about the lineup that they put out last night, like Jackson Holiday. I don't know.
No Leote. I don't know if that's really that big of an issue.
I mean, I think
when you
people
see Blaze drop a ball, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, that's the reaction that you have. But you want Blaze Alexander in the lineup, right? Like, I can't really nitpick the lineup last night.
Well, I mean, of course you can.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I can't. The way they played, they weren't winning that game. It's not like any one thing. Like, there's a part of me that wants to scream about the crazy Red Sox third base coach. Like, that is insane. It's utterly and completely insane. It also really does not matter at all. But this thing where, like, my guy wants to run over here, so I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be real slick and run into the field of play. Like, what? What? And I get it. I see exactly what he's seeing, which is your guy is running so hard.
Well, it's the Fenway thing. Like, there's no...
No, there's plenty of room over there.
No, he can't seed in the corner, though.
Oh, we can't see in the corner is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know that seeing in the corner has anything to do with it. I think what this has to do with...
I mean, if he's standing right here...
He was signaling... Go back a second.
All right.
Go back. Go ahead. Okay, so you're saying that he wasn't going to signal until he got over there in order to see the corner. That's your assertion.
Yeah. I mean, but the issue is, I mean, he's 2 inches from Kobe Mayo, so like.
No, I mean, it's not acceptable. It's not okay. It cannot happen. Ever. That can never, ever, ever happen. And your argument might be his argument, right? Like, his argument might very well be, I can't see exactly where the ball is in order to make my signal. Hey, tell that to your baseball team.
Right.
Tell it to them. That is not Kobe Mayo's problem. It is not the Orioles' problem.
Of course, they got him out. So it was like,
yeah, they did get him out on replay, but they did get him out. It's amazing. They got a replay right in Boston. Good for them. It's not Boston's fault. I guess it's New York's fault. Like, it's goofy as hell, but what am I going to scream about it? The Orioles got their asses kicked last night.
What about the ball call? They got that one wrong, too.
I mean, did they?
Well, he's supposed to, Jacob Havemeyer had a big night. He was, because he had, the official ruling is that you can advance as much as you want, at your own risk.
Oh, I actually did not know that. That's a straight shoot. I did not know that was the rule.
So he should have been awarded third.
Unless they said, no, one of us actually did call time. You just couldn't hear it, right? Like, that's the part that, admittedly, in that moment, like, I felt the same thing everybody else did, but...
Also, it was 8-1 or 8-0.
What does any of it matter? The Orioles got drubbed. They got their asses kicked. I can't pretend like any of it matters. And so, yes, the question, the only thing that really matters at this point is, does Trevor Rogers go out and pitch today? I assume Chris Bassett doesn't need to go to the injured list based on the way that they were discussing it. And then I heard Drew French on this morning with 98 Rock. Like, it seems like something he just deals with, which I don't like. Like, that sounds bad. Lower back tightness, and he looked like he was laboring. Can I be honest? He looked like a guy that had a kidney stone. As a guy that's had 2 kidney stones and has attempted to do things like, I could probably get through this baseball game before I deal with it. He looked like a guy that was dealing with a kidney stone.
So would that be a good thing if it's like we just pass it and then he's back, right?
I don't think he has a kidney stone. If he had a kidney stone, they'd probably just go ahead and give him the Toradol, and then he'd be fine. That's the problem.
They give you that? Or?
No, I will. Like, you have to go. You have to go show up. I swear to God, the second time it happened to me, because the first time you didn't know what was going on, I was like, maybe I have appendicitis. Like, I thought I was dying. I tried calling my wife. She was drunk. We had just gotten married. We were very young. And so then I called.
These stones are after you, huh?
Yeah, because I couldn't get in touch with my wife. I called my parents, and my parents, of course, called an ambulance. Thank you for that,
Great.
Bill.
Yeah.
Love you. Love you to death. And to be fair, I thought I had appendicitis. They were like, dude, if you got appendicitis, you need to be there now. Because I didn't know what was going on. Get to the hospital as soon as they shoot that Toradol in me. I'm like, get out of here. I'll go back and call the baseball game.
Thank you, yeah.
Right. So then the second time it happened, I knew what was going on, and I knew that it was like, there's not going to be an ambulance involved.
You'll crawl to the hospital.
Yeah, if I have to. And I call and see that I was supposed to be calling a Stevenson football game. I'm sheepishly calling Gary Stein. Gary, you got to call this game. Glenn, I haven't been able to prepare. Gary, shut up. Just go call the football game. And then, again, I go to, like, the clinic or whatever this time, and the guy's trying to do shtick. Like, I'm dying.
He's giving you a hard time?
No, he's doing shtick.
What?
Like, he's legitimately like, so, having a tough day, huh? I'm like, Jesus Christ, shut up. Just give me the goddamn Toradol. For God's sakes. If you do that, I could probably get over there and call the football game. But that's what, like, it looked painful to watch. I couldn't believe they were leaving him in. Bases are loaded. He's taking like 30 seconds between pitches. I couldn't believe that they were trying to get him out of the inning as Suarez was ready. But, I mean, I guess he did technically get out of it without any further damage. It just looked awful. But, yeah, lower back tightness is the word, and apparently just something that Chris Bassett deals with at his age. I mean, I'm a few years older than Chris Bassett, so, like, I want to say I sympathize. I'm not trying to pitch in the major leagues. I'm not trying to get guys out. Hopefully he'll be fine. He'll get out there next week. Yeah, he wouldn't go this weekend. No, he wouldn't go till next week.
Monday.
Yeah,
Because they have no off day.
Yeah, they have no off day.
Unless they,
What?
Unless they're just going to try to call up a sixth guy, right? Like, that would be the...
Oh, have Gibson pitch again?
But
maybe?
they wouldn't be able to... I mean, unless somebody pops up with an injury.
Oh, yeah, when was Gibson?
He was optioned on the 28th, May 28th.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'd have to wait. So
they'd
at
have
least
to go on
June
now.
12th.
Anyway, moral of the story is the Orioles lose. They get their asses kicked. And now the question is, can Trevor Rogers right the ship this afternoon in the finale against the Red Sox? We will find out. Coming up in a few minutes, Jeff Zrebiec is going to join us from The Athletic. We'll get an idea of what he's seen from out at Ravens OTAs. Mandatory minicamp coming up next week. Also later on, we'll make a trip down to Norfolk to chat with Creed Willems of the Tides. So that is on the way on today's program. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends at County Sports Zone, where everything you need to know about high school sports in the state of Maryland can be found. If you missed anything from championship season, get over there. CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. I don't know what to make of the basketball game. And I say that not to try to take anything away from the Knicks, who continued to look comfortable, look at ease, look like a team that hasn't been tested in a little while, and Karl Anthony Towns is just playing outside of his mind. I don't want to take anything away from Jalen Brunson from praising Karl Anthony Towns, but to me, the way that Karl Anthony Towns has played in the playoffs has been the single biggest game changer for the Knicks in terms of being like a fun team that could compete in the East but can't actually, versus being a legitimate title contender. The Spurs side of the story to me last night is probably as relevant as the Knicks side, because what I would say is the Knicks were essentially what I expected them to be. The question is, why were the Spurs so bad? And it's not to say that the Knicks defense has nothing to do with it, but Victor Wembanyama was missing shots that, like, he had absolutely no business missing. And settling for shots, and it was weird. He finished 6 for 21 from the field. it will go down as one of the worst 26.12 rebound performances you'll ever see. Because on paper, you're like, it sounds like a pretty good night. But anybody who watches knows it was not. He just got fouled a ton, and so he was able to stockpile points at the free throw line. But, I mean, he was missing bunnies. It was just bad. Kept hoisting threes. Finished.
Yeah, he kept shooting threes.
2 for 9 from beyond the arc last night.
Because what, he made like his first one, and then
Yeah, it was bad. De'Aaron Fox was bad.
De'Aaron Fox has not been good
since
much.
returning.
Yeah, like this entire playoff run.
Um.
Like Dylan Harper has looked like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
best.
it's what everybody's saying is why is Dylan Harper on the bench in the critical minutes of the fourth quarter? And you know what? I don't disagree. The way that he has played, I can't believe they had him on the bench in the critical minutes of the fourth quarter. I mean, it's worth pointing out they trailed twice in the Oklahoma City series, and yet, they won it anyway. I'm not. I guess it's a little bit different because they did win Game 1 on the road in that series, so they had the ability to make up on. They lost Game 3 at home, and that was a bummer, but it still only kind of put them on a level playing field. I'm not gonna panic if I'm a Spurs fan because again, I think that has as much to do with the Spurs just playing really poorly, and it's weird because then is this just the rest versus rust thing? Like the Knicks were so rested and the Spurs were rusty. I don't know. I mean, the Spurs collapse didn't occur until the second half. Like they were in great shape to start the game. So was it a legs catching up to them situation as the game went on? And the toll of everything they've been through?
It just didn't seem like they made many adjustments. Like when Wemby was off the floor, they didn't make many adjustments, really. Like because that was obviously when the Knicks got
made
back
their
into
run in
it.
the second half.
And they just were not prepared to defend without Wemby, I guess. That was.
I don't know.
It was a good thing Mitch Johnson went home with 2 timeouts still in his pocket. Like that was.
You do get to keep those, actually. I think you get to trade them in.
Yeah.
And I think you get like
you get a couple more points to start the game.
No, I think you
too.
get like a free sub
at
Blimpie, I believe, is the way that it works out. It's weird. In a weird way, I think it was the story of last night was the Knicks damn well have better won that game. If Victor Wembanyama had played that poorly and the Knicks hadn't won, then they would have been cooked, to me. You can't squander that opportunity when Wembanyama plays as poorly as he did. Because I don't think you can expect that you're going to get many more. You're going to have to, my gut tells me if you're the Knicks, you're going to have to figure out ways to beat the Spurs when Wembanyama's playing really well. And that's going to be a tough thing to do. So it was noteworthy because they went on the road and they won. They've taken away home court advantage, and it gives them a great chance. But I don't think I'm going to react to anything more than it's one game in a 7-game series that I never felt was lopsided. Like 2 weeks ago, I felt like the East versus West thing was lopsided, but then watching how those teams had to battle and how comfortable the Knicks were. I mean, I remember yesterday I said I'm leaning towards the Knicks in this series. But I think it's a long way to go for that. Like a long way to go. I think there's going to be a lot of twists and turns still. And again, I expect a better version of Victor Wembanyama than what we saw last night. And that was how much of that is just how many games they played, how many minutes he's logged, the toughness of them.
You blame it on the pinwheel colors? Is that?
I've told you before. I stick with the Evil Empire, baby. The Fiesta look. You can tell me that, like, oh, it's this throwback to. When they talk about it being a throwback to the late '90s teams, like, I get it that '99 team did win a title and ironically won it against the Knicks, but like the dominant era of the Spurs was post David Robinson. They did get the one title with David Robinson, but the dominant era, the Duncan to Kawhi era of Spurs basketball, that was all Evil Empire, baby. I don't know why they don't embrace it. I get it. Victor Wembanyama is colorful and his character. Dude, you're the Spurs. You're the evil empire. Embrace it. Be the Dark Knights. Stop trying to do that. No, I don't think that's the reason why they lost, but I still stand by the fact that they should be sticking to the evil empire look, which to me is the dramatically better of the aesthetics for those two teams. Game 2 in the NBA Finals will be Friday, and then we have to wait 3 days because the NBA doesn't want us to have something to watch on Sunday night, so instead you can enjoy... I genuinely don't know what. I have no idea.
The Sunday night baseball game.
It's sure, whatever that is. Whatever it is, you can watch that
that'll be
instead.
now on ABC or ABC.
NBC.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get Giants Cubs. The Giants are having a great season. And
The Giants
Cubs
are
losing.
Oh, they've been
now.
killing it recently, right? Exactly what we've been looking for, to divert our attention because we're not allowed to watch a basketball game on a Sunday night, which is a weird bit. It's a very weird bit. But yeah, Game 2 will be Friday night. Game 2 in the Stanley Cup Final tonight. And Mira Andreeva into the French Open Final. And as goofy as this French Open has been, I will tell you she was going to be winning slams at some point, no matter what. It might be that this is a goofy one where the draw completely broke open and she just happened to win it. But if she does, it will not be her last. She will be winning more of them. She is extraordinarily good. She's just very young, and so you're not familiar with her yet. That's it. That's the entirety of the story. She's going to be winning for some time. She's an outstanding talent. All right, we switch gears here on a Thursday edition of the program. Ravens' last OTA, where the media was able to get out there and watch, was this week. Next week, they'll have mandatory minicamp. Joining us now to tell us a little bit more about what he's seen during the Ravens' offseason activities. You know him from The Athletic, where he covers the Ravens. He also has a podcast we'll have him tell us about. He is our buddy Jeff Zrebiec, and he is back with us now here on GCR. Jeff, it's Glenn. What's going on, bud? How are you?
Great, Glenn. It's been a while to talk to you. I always enjoy it.
I always appreciate you, my friend. Jeff, it's interesting as I was reading what you wrote. Like, there is a small part of me that has not really spent a lot of time focusing on the Ravens defense and has almost granted the idea that Jesse Minter is just going to sprinkle some pixie dust and the defense is going to be just fine. And so maybe I have not done a fair job of actually analyzing this. What, from a personnel standpoint, from a scheme standpoint, what questions are there about the defense and what Jesse Minter needs to fix moving forward?
Yeah, I think by his presence alone and the scheme he plays and teaches, they'll be better. I want to be clear on that, but there's questions, Glenn. I mean, you had some veterans last year that regressed. I think we all can acknowledge that. Is that a sign of things to come or just one of those years? You have some young guys that I think showed you they could play, but didn't play up to what you think they're capable of doing and making an impact. I think that's Nate Wiggins. I think it's Malachi Starks. I think that's Mike Green. And then, you have some new veterans that they've kind of brought in. So, there's 3 or 4 spots I think you have legitimate questions on defensively. And I think still, all these months later, the big question is, will they have a healthy Nnamdi Madubuike on the field? I think everyone saw the Schefter tweet that he had surgery. This will allow him to play and said, okay, this is a formality. Madubuike will be walking in that door come start a training camp, and maybe he will, but we don't know that yet. The Ravens don't know that yet. And until they do, you're missing arguably one of your most important pieces on defense. I think we saw it last year, how much his loss impacted them at every level.
To the point, we also, even if he plays, is he Nnamdi Madubuike?
Yeah.
Right? And that is a significant.
It's been a while, yeah.
100%. You bring up Mike. Mike Green popped a couple of times last season. We saw flashes. The presence of Trey Hendrickson, it feels like, would make us say, well, if they've got to account for Trey Hendrickson, then Mike Green should be able to develop a little bit more into the player that we expect him to be. Is that too simplistic when we suggest it that way?
No, I don't think so, because I think you have expectations that players are going to naturally get better. And for a long time, Glenn, and people complained about this with John Harbaugh in certain positions, people complained that these rookies weren't getting on the field enough. They weren't getting these guys enough snaps earlier in their career, specifically some of their young edge rushers, to, kind of develop and be the guy they were drafted to be. I think a case could be made last year that they were forced to rely on Mike Green too much.
Mm-hmm.
And he played a ton of snaps. He's still learning on the fly. I think we all saw it, as you said, in flashes where he'd make a play. You're like, wow, that's the guy you expected him to be. And then you'd kind of see some inexperience, and then you'd kind of see him be quiet and not realize he's on the field for lengths of time. So I think that experience last year, while maybe he got extended a little bit more than they really would have liked, I think that should help him this year. You bring in Trey Hendrickson. I think you have a different coaching staff with Jesse, and we all saw what he got out of Oweh when he went there, and Anthony Weaver. And I think it is natural to expect some development from him, and him to take that big second-year leap.
Jeff Zrebiec is with us here on Glenn Clark Radio, talking about what he's seen out there with the Ravens during the course of off-season activities. Jeff, if we come to the offense, where it's weird, I've sort of been focusing more of my attention that way. I guess the million-dollar question is there a starting caliber center that's on this roster, or do they still need to address that between now and August?
I think they need to address it. Could they get away with starting Danny Pinter, who, looks to be the leader in the clubhouse based on what we've seen through the workout program, the OTAs? Could they get away with starting him for a couple weeks, or him being a Band-Aid kind of plan for a little while? I think so, as long as you're strong at the guard spots and the rest of the O-line. And I think you expect, you paid Dwayne Ledford rather handsomely to get these guys to a new level. But is that a plan? Is that the plan you want? I mean, when this was clearly, if this wasn't the 1A priority, it was 1B, and the other priority was obviously adding juice to the pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
And so can you really say you completely, I don't want to say fixed, but drastically improve the offensive line when you're kind of starting a guy at center that I don't want to call him a journeyman, but, a guy who's not established himself as a starter despite being a veteran? I think that's a tough sell. You of all people know how the Ravens do things, what they choose to put out there. And that Eric DeCosta brought up a trade immediately after the day 3 of the draft when we met with the media. That to me was telling, right? I think that to me was the acknowledgement that we're pretty sure we don't have that guy on the roster. We're going to give some guys some opportunities, but that's a position we're going to continue to scour and look if there's upgrades out there on the trade market. I've said it multiple times. I don't know that anything's changed. People have gotten kind of tight-lipped these last month or so, but I don't think there's starting centers on the roster, Glenn. I'll continue to say that until we get up to late July when they report to training camp. If they haven't made an addition by then, I might have changed my mind, but I still think they're looking and trying to find an upgrade out there.
I would think so. I kept looking at the teams that did draft centers and trying to find if there's an obvious choice there of a team that has a veteran center that they'd like to – and I really struggled to find the obvious choice of who the trade partner could be, or the team that's just so crazy confident in that third or fourth round pick that I really did struggle with trying to figure out what the answer would be for who would say, oh, this is a home run, this solves the problem immediately.
Yeah, the only guy who kind of I keep coming back to is Garrett Bradbury. And the Bears, as we know, drafted Logan Jones in the second round, the guy the Ravens kind of were targeting. And that guy's not a young rookie. That's a guy that, is an older guy. That's a plug-and-play guy. So you don't really, you can draft him and have him sit for a year under Bradbury, who you also traded for, but you're already wasting a prime year of an older draft pick who's also not a first-round pick, so you don't have that extra year involved with him. So do you want to do that? So I thought all along Bradbury's a solid guy. He played under Dwayne Ledford at NC State, so the Ravens will have plenty of intel on him. Is he a standout? Is he a good, would there be a drop-off after Linderbaum? Yes, a little bit. He's not Tyler Linderbaum, but there's a reason Tyler Linderbaum's considered a top 3 center in the sport, and Bradbury's not. But the Patriots went to the Super Bowl with Garrett Bradbury as their center. They had one of the more productive offenses in the league. I think all these trades the Patriots are making with their offense, and people are saying, now finally. But if you look at their offensive numbers last year, yes, they laid an egg in the Super Bowl, but they were pretty damn good all year. So Bradbury had to, he couldn't have been too big of a problem if they had all that success that they did offensively. So I think he'd be solid. And I think solid right now is fine. A known solid, when you plug it, when you think that you've really improved that right guard and you've improved that left guard, solid at center to me works, and you could really paint the picture of a improved offensive line. However, are the Bears just going to give them up? I mean, you're just not.
Right.
You're probably going to have to overpay more than probably the player's worth. They traded a 5th-round pick, I believe, to get him from the Patriots.
So,
so I guess a lot of will depend on what they're seeing from Logan Jones in Bears camp. If he looks like he's ready, he's taken the reins already, then maybe you do make that move if you're the Bears. But as we all know, teams don't trade quality offensive line depth much because no team goes through the season usually, just having to rely on only 5 guys. You need 7 or 8.
Jeff, the position that I guess by default have ended up talking about the most, and it's not like I'm trying to force the conversation. I guess I'm just more confused by the lack of conversation, is the pass catcher department, where I acknowledge the Ravens spent 4 picks on tight ends and wide receivers, but they were all mid-round guys, and it's tough to project definitively that those guys, and I know that we still need to learn what a Declan Doyle offense is and who a new coaching staff is willing to give opportunities to, and I acknowledge that a lot of my thinking is based on what I knew of the John Harbaugh-era Ravens, but I look at the pass-catching department, and I say you have a known in Zay Flowers. You have what you believe is a known in Mark Andrews, acknowledging he's coming off a very disappointing season, and I would say you have like 2/3 of a known in Rashad Bateman, and that's it in the entire pass-catching department. And I'm not trying to bang the drum. Ironically, it's, I don't even think Stephon Diggs is the guy that I'm most interested in, but I get it. I understand why the conversation shifts that way. It just feels like there's an awful lot of unknown and an awful lot of risk of what one injury could do to the lack of knowns that you have here. And I'm a little surprised there isn't a louder conversation about the need for one of these veteran pass catchers that might be out there.
Yeah, I would agree with you at the surprise. There hasn't been more talk about it. And, I haven't asked in a little bit just because of the first message I got on it. And when I kind of reached out after the draft, after the comp pick deadline was no longer in effect, and tried to reach out to some people that I know that, kind of are familiar with the Ravens and know what they're thinking and doing. And there was not one person who said, I expect them to go out and get a pass catcher. They all seemed like, we're good at receiver, which is a little surprising to me. And I will say, and this isn't denouncing what your point is, because I agree with it. You could say at 5 or 6 positions that if we lose a guy, we're screwed, right?
That's fair.
That's sort of that's sort of the NFL in the salary cap era. But look, if Bateman doesn't bounce back physically, and if something happens to Zay, you're not long away from having Devontae Walker as one of your top targets. And who knows what even you have in him, because he's been such a part-time player. So I still could see them bringing in a veteran. I just wonder if it's a bigger swing, if it's one of those guys like a Diggs or is Keenan Allen still available?
Yeah.
One of those kind of guys. Or they just go again. They love these veteran wide receiver special teams types late in the offseason, the Keith Kirkwoods of the world that, yes, if he's your number 5 receiver, you're fine. But, again, that's really not the answer if you lose one of your top guys. So I thought all along, Glenn, they're going to use this time to evaluate Surratt. They're going to use the time to evaluate Jacoby Lane. They're going to use the time to evaluate how much Devontae Walker has come forward from last year. see in Declan Doyle's offense how it's playing out, how the young tight ends look. I mean, we can't forget about them in the pass-catching scenario, and then decide. Because veteran wide receivers are going to be out there for the next couple of months, right? I mean, we saw the Giants just sign 3 of them in about 2 hours. And there's probably better guys available than the Giants signed, Beckham, Schuster, and the Berrios. So I think that piece will be out there in a month or two if that's the direction they want to go. And ultimately, the play of these guys during all these practices and mini camps and all that, OTAs mandatory next week, is going to determine whether they feel like that's kind of an itch they need to scratch.
Jeff, do you have a sense for, if they don't, like if this is the group, do you have a sense for, it is Tez Walker the third receiver? Do they, is Surratt or Lane? Like, do you have a sense for how this sort of flushes out of who's really in the picture, who's someone that they believe in versus, who's someone that maybe is competing for a spot or competing for time?
I think they would like to see one of those rookies, Lane or Surratt, get that spot, earn that spot, and be able to rely on one of those guys right away. Now, there is, we do this, I don't say we, but kind of the fan base does this every year where someone looks good in a practice and we just all buy in, me included, buy into the wide receiver hype. And, we wind up having Tandon Doss having a great practice and automatically anointing him or somebody of that ilk.
But don't forget, he was drafted by Joe Flacco, so I still think at some point he could maybe be a contributor.
Yeah. So, but the way other players talk about Jacoby Lane is a little different. Just hearing the quarterbacks talk about him, other players, former players even. There seems to be an excitement about him, and to me, Surratt's looked even better in terms of just like he belongs, like he carries himself like he's been in the NFL for a couple years. None of this is too big for him. A lot of the rookies you always see with a deer in the headlights this time of year. To me, he looks more than ready to contribute, but still, we're talking about a number 3 receiver, a piece who's on the field a lot. I think that remains to be seen. I don't know that there's a favorite right now. I will say Devontae Walker in at least one of these practices, he caught a couple passes and pulled away from the defense. Just the way he was running was better than I've seen so far. I think he's in line to kind of get an opportunity to pop here, but I just haven't seen enough to think who that guy is, and to even be confident that number 3 is on the roster. But man, they seem determined to make sure he is, just with how they've acted and how they're talking.
By the way, of the guys that you brought up, I for some reason I am enamored with Keenan Allen. I'm just convinced, Jeff, that he's going to be 50 years old and he's still going to have like an 800-yard season somehow. Like dude
just knows how to get open, knows how to make plays, reliable.
It's nuts.
Yeah, well, he's just a classic pro. Been a great player.
Jeff, let me wrap with this because I have attempted to talk about it like an adult. There is no reason for me to believe that there is any sort of problem between the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, or that Lamar Jackson wants to be anywhere but Baltimore, as he says when you guys ask him about it. At the same time, there's no way to explain why the Ravens are in the position that they're in with Lamar Jackson. Everyone knew that this date was coming, and yet nothing got done. And both things to me are equally true, right? But I don't know how to explain it or how to make sense of it, particularly knowing that I believe that both things are true.
Yeah, I mean, here's, as I said, anything you say on this or anybody in the media, you sort of get a headline and it gets taken out, so it is always tough to talk about. I will say a couple things on this. One, I think the Ravens are more than ready. I think the ball's in Lamar's court. I don't get the sense, at least I didn't recently, that there's even been extensive talks, and I think that's not because they're not on the same page or Lamar was turned off by an offer. I don't know what it is, but there's something that kind of I think is prompting Lamar to wait, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if he wants to experience life under Jesse Minter and Declan Doyle for a while. I don't know if it's something else going on off the field. I don't know if he's waiting for another quarterback to get a deal. I don't even know who that quarterback would be at this point. But I get the sense that, kind of they're confident and comfortable and they're willing to go at Lamar's pace here. But the other thing I will say, Glenn, that leads me to believe this is different, and I've said I still think this deal gets done. I don't sense the frustration that I've sensed in the past with this. I sense the Ravens know Lamar has communicated exactly what his expectations are, when he wants these talks to happen, where he is, and the Ravens are good with it and understand it. And Lamar's been in the building all off season. People have raved about his engagement level and all that. And I feel like they're in a good place and they're communicating well. And that's not always been the case. So that's where I draw optimism that this deal will get done. And again, like most things with Lamar and the Ravens, they're head scratching and we don't know the whole story. So I guess we will see. But the fact that he's been, like, if he was really angry about his contract situation, would he be in the building basically the whole offseason? I don't think so.
Again, it's why I say there's no reason for me to think there's an actual problem other than the problem. It's just it's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's always head scratching because there's really no information coming out either side.
Right.
We know Lamar's people. We know he has very few people to begin with that he trusts, and the ones that he does do not talk. And we know the Ravens are so private about Lamar because they don't want to put stuff out because it just makes things difficult. He gets pissed off, he gets offended, hurt, and then all of a sudden talks become even that more difficult. So both sides are really quiet. They're not talking on it. But I do, as I said, sense that they're in a good place. And the Ravens are pretty confident and know exactly where he's at and exactly what he wants to do, and they're good with it. So that's where I draw some of the optimism, Glenn.
You want to get a plug in for the podcast, Jeff?
Do you think I'm going to plug those other two clowns? I mean, I know I'd be plugging myself, but yeah, we're Baltimore Collective, and it's kind of been interesting, right? I'm not a podcast guy. I tell Trossett all the time I've never once listened to his, and I don't plan on it anytime soon. But it's been an interesting kind of foray into what every other reporter is seemingly doing nowadays, right? So, it's been fun, and we're kind of going back to one a week now. That'll get quiet. I'm kind of looking forward to this, this next month or so where, you get to prepare, plan, and get ready for training camp, but you're not, under the gun constantly. So it'll be an interesting time. I don't think the Ravens are done, Glenn, so I think we'll have plenty to talk about.
At Jeff Zrebiec, of course, is how you follow him, and The Athletic is where you see this stuff. Let's not go this long without doing it again, buddy. Appreciate you as always. Thanks for taking the time for me.
Always enjoy it, Glenn. Take care and have a good summer. Talk to you soon.
Buddy. Jeff Zrebiec, Ravens beat writer for The Athletic, with us here on GCR. When we come back in, we'll head to Norfolk. Creed Willems joins us next. Glenn Clark Radio.
This summer, the world gathers on the biggest stage in sports, and only one place puts you in the front row for every thrilling moment. Live Casino. June 9th through July 19th, surround yourself with massive screens, trophy-worthy specials, and arena-sized energy. This isn't a game, it's history in the making. Watch the world play at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery, because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
This is Byron Warnken. If you've been injured in Maryland, you know you need a great lawyer. Look no further than us, Warnkin LLC. You've seen my picture on billboards around town. You've seen me on TV. Now I'm lucky enough to get to be here with Stan. Please give us a call. 443-RESULTS. It is not just a phone number, it's a mission. 443-RESULTS. Or visit us online at warnkinlaw.com. That's WARNKENLAW.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, and you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along here on a Thursday edition of the program. It's time for us to make a trip down to Norfolk to chat with a member of the Tides. And all this guy has done this season is belt 12 home runs and OPS at 881. I think that'll play. He's Creed Willems, and he's with us here on GCR. Creed, it's good to have you back, man. It's Glenn in Baltimore. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, what's been going on? Like, what? I know you're a big, strong dude. I know that you are Texas strong and that you are always going to get hit home runs. But anything in particular that you did this offseason that is, like, working well? Or is this just, hey, man, this is kind of what I thought I was going to be doing?
Yeah, honestly, offseason was pretty much the same as it's been the last couple of years. But I think a lot of it just has to do with more so of my approach now. Talking to our hitting coaches and Fetty and stuff like that, it's like just thinking about, basically going up there with the intent every time that I'm just going to hit a backside single, which sounds really weird. But whenever that's kind of my approach, I feel like I'm a little bit more relaxed. I'm a little bit more focused on the ball, and everything else kind of just comes naturally. Whereas, whenever I start to get to that point where, I'm trying to hit home runs and, swinging out of my shoes and stuff like that, that's when stuff goes south. And more times than not, that's, where the swing and miss comes into play. But, if I just have the mindset, of driving a hard line drive, over the shortstop's head, it just allows me to kind of stay through the ball a little bit better.
Let me, because I think what you just said is so fascinating, Creed, because I'm sure, as you know, it sounds a little antithetical to what we've kind of seen in modern baseball, where it feels like everyone is prioritizing launch angle and chasing slug. Can you walk me through, because I can't help but notice your batting average is up too. It's not just the home runs. Like, how is it just a mental thing? Is the way that you've actually approached each at bat? How have you been able to add the power and grow the power, which we always knew was going to be there, without trading off getting on base and, as you point out, just hitting to the backside and getting some singles here and there?
Yeah, I think for me it's big because in the past it's like, early on in the year, you kind of get that average up and then you start trying to chase home runs. And that's whenever, I start to really struggle in the past is whenever I start to do that. Knowing that, now it's just focusing on, hitting hard line drives. And something I tell our manager every day, before every at bat is, all right, let's go hit another single. And, having some strength, having some power, I know I'm going to hit home runs just, naturally. But if I can, take my at bats at, 75, 80% effort, that just allows my, my bat to have a little bit more time in the zone, allows me to be a little bit more relaxed and stuff like that. Whereas if I'm swinging out of my shoes at 100%, yeah, you're going to get a hold of a ball here and there, but it's just not going to be as consistent. And at the end of the day, I think it's all about being consistent in the box. And so if I just keep the same mindset every at bat, nothing really changes other than, maybe a new pitcher or whatever it is. But, just having the mindset of keeping it simple at the plate, I think has really helped me.
Dude, do you have any idea how refreshing that sounds? Like, I'm an old guy. I'm 43, but everything that you just said makes me want to hug you through the phone, dude. Like, that sounds like baseball to me. That sounds like the game the way it's supposed to be played. Has it been joyful for you to see that pay off? That mentality that I'm not just going to keep trying to swing for home runs and for it to work this way. Like, how much joy has it brought you to be able to do this successfully?
Oh, it's been incredible. I think just like another part of it is, there's times that, a home run can put a run on the board, but at the same time, it's like, we hit a ball hard in the gap or whatever it may be. It's like, all right, well, you're in scoring position for the next guy. And, that's whenever stuff changed together. Whereas, sometimes it's like you hit a home run and then, it's one of those things that it's like, all right, well, now the next guy also has to, add on to it. Whereas, if you just keep it simple and you go up there and, you're just thinking, about driving the ball hard, it's like, I feel like it kind of just, motivates everybody else that's hitting behind you in the lineup as well to, kind of have the same approach. And that's something we've talked about as a team lately is, just trying to chain together at bats and, not trying to, always have the big swing, but, being able to piece together some hits.
He's Creed Willems. He's with us here on GCR. You've been watching on the screen. If you're with us on YouTube, we just showed the walk-off home run that Creed had the other night. Look, if there's ever a time to swing for the fences, I would argue the ninth inning or like the end of the game is a heck of a time to say, I'm just going to go ahead and try to tattoo that ball. What is it like? I always ask guys like what it feels like to hit a home run, because most of us will never have that joy. But the walk-off home run, like, can you walk me through? Do you just like lose your mind in that moment? Do you just like black out when you hit a walk-off home run?
Yeah, you kind of black out in the moment. Honestly, I didn't even know what pitch it was. But to be completely honest, whenever, we had guys on second and third, I'm going up to the plate. We got one out. And all that's on my mind is, all right, I want to hit something in the air to the outfield that, is able to score somebody, whether that's a line drive, a fly ball, whatever it is. Like, all we need is one. So just try to get something to either fall over the infield or something, that's deep enough where the outfielder can't, make a throw home. But, ends up, I hit a home run and, it's one of those, it's like you kind of black out and lose your mind there for a second, and then you start to regain it a little bit. But, yeah, I think as of late, the last couple of weeks, I think, I've just been trying to more so think about how can we get these runners to score. And, it's always, good peace of mind whenever you got a guy on third base with less than 2 outs. It's like, all right, well, all I got to do is, get the ball to the outfield and score them. And had a couple of those last week. So in that moment, it was like, all right, well, we're going to keep the same approach. We're going to try to hit something, that, is deep enough for him to score. And so we can get out of here since we got a day game the next day. So, but yeah, that's kind of my approach. And
let's get home.
I got a ball. Exactly. Got a pitch where I wanted it. And, just try to stay focused, stay relaxed, and, and it ended up paying off.
We also showed on the screen from the same series a bit of a delayed bat flip. Watching it, making sure it goes out. I know Kobe people had some fun with him on the internet because he did the bat flip in D.C. and the ball ended up being foul. Have you learned that, like, you better make sure that ball is definitively a home run before you flip that bat?
Yeah, I think that's a big part. Honestly, though, off the bat, I knew it was gone.
Okay.
But I kind of wanted to just admire it for a little bit before I did that. So, that was kind of one of those things. But, I'm typically not somebody that, I typically don't bat flip or do anything like that. But I think most of the ones in my career that I have come off of, certain moments like that or whatever it is. But typically, kind of just somebody who, hits it and kind of lays the bat down and starts jogging. But, in that moment, I kind of got to go crazy a little bit.
Man, I think anybody who fight, I appreciate everything you just said. As I mentioned, I'm an old guy, so I appreciate that. But I also love joy too. Like, you guys, what you're doing is fun, and we're all having fun, and you're at home and the crowd's into it. Man, I'm never going to be opposed to joy. I'm never going to be opposed to enjoying it a little bit because you get to do something.
Oh, for sure.
Creed, a couple things that are really interesting to me. I know we've seen a little bit more of first base this season. I guess what's interesting, it appears as though you're right on the doorstep. And I know you just got the AAA, so I'm sure they would say, hey, you're going to take your time and make sure that you dominate for a little while. But clearly, the path in Baltimore, there's a couple of really great catchers, and like a sort of iconic first baseman right now. Had there been any conversation with you about doing anything else, maybe running out the right field or something? Like, have you talked about any of that, or is it a, we'll deal with that when we need to deal with it type of situation?
Yeah, I think it's more of a we'll deal with that when we need to type thing. Honestly, whatever keeps me in the lineup is what I'll do. Whether wherever I have to play, I'll go out there and play it. At the end of the day, it's like, I played a little bit of outfield whenever I was younger, kind of, did whatever I needed to. But, at the end of the day, it's whatever keeps me in the lineup. And I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
No, I understand, right? If they tell you to learn how to play shortstop and you get you to the bigs, you're like, all right, I guess I'll give it a shot. See if I can't do it. I understand.
Might not be great at it, but I'll give it a shot.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, if they ask, like, okay, I don't know how it's going to go, but I'll see if it can't work. Did you, like, have you picked up anything from either, like, a little bit of time around Adley or being around Sam the last couple of years? Like, is there anything in particular that you've picked up that you've said, I can define this is how learning from one of those guys has helped me be a better catcher?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's just about being consistent with it. Being confident in, your pitch calling or, whatever you're doing, and just having that relationship with your pitchers that, whenever you call a pitch, they have trust in you, and whenever you call a pitch, you have trust in them to throw it. So, I think more so just being confident in yourself is kind of what I've picked up from them.
You, I'm sure that you've been asked this a million times in your life, but I never have before. What actually is your walk-up song, Creed?
So it is Ghost Riders in the Sky by Johnny Cash.
Oh, that is badass. Oh, that's so much cool.
Yeah. So, so in the, I've always been a huge, old country music fan, and Johnny Cash has always been my favorite artist, but I didn't want to use something that, a lot of people have used from him.
Yeah.
So, I was just kind of looking through it, and last year I was, I think I was driving home from, working out or something like that, and I just clicked shuffle on my playlist, and it popped up, and I was like, this might be a really good walk-up song. So I started using it last year, and
dude, that's so good. It's so good.
And then I just kept it going. So
that is a great one. I ask because I have no doubt that in your life, you have an unending amount of people that, like, come up to you and just start, like, belting out with arms wide open. I'm just going to assume that you've dealt with that a great bit in your life. Is there a message maybe to, like, Orioles fans, hey, I'm kind of over it, or are you still okay with that?
No, in all honesty, I hear it at home, I hear it on the road, and I love it.
Okay.
I really like listening to the band Creed, but it's something that, for me, a walk-up song is something that whenever I go up there, it's more of just kind of relax me. And something that I want to, be able to kind of, sing along with as well. So never been somebody that really uses, crazy rap or anything like that. It's something to kind of just, more so, kind of get me excited, get me going, stuff like that. And it's a good song to sing along to. So
I love it, man. I dude, we've always liked you, but now I like you even so much more because that is just a badass tune. Like, that is really a great call. And then the most important part, happy birthday, Creed Willems.
I appreciate it.
Tell me about, do you get to have any sort of celebration, or does the life of playing a game every day sort of mute the ability to have any sort of, other than maybe a nice text from somebody?
No, so it's I enjoy it. It's like every year, been playing baseball on my birthday since, ever since I can remember growing up. So it's something I always, really look forward to. But yeah, I get to see my mom. She's coming into town, so that always makes it good. And then other than that, went out and had a nice steak dinner last night.
Nice.
So since we had a day game, so
nice.
We have a steakhouse right down the road that has bison steaks. So went and got one of those, and then kind of just hung out and kind of go from there.
Everything about that sounds wonderful. Is mom, so she's coming to town, is she, I guess the problem is you guys are on the road, so there wouldn't be anywhere. I was going to ask if she can make a meal, but I assume that's probably difficult for her to do when you're on the road, right?
Yeah, on the road it's a little tough, but they're actually, my mom and my dad are coming out next week.
Okay.
So whenever we're back in Norfolk, so going to try to get them at the house to cook some breakfast or something like that. Can't go wrong with that.
No, not at all. What's maybe from either, and I say this because it could be either way, right? Maybe it was something the dad did on the grill, but what's the best home, growing up meal that you, it's your birthday, you get to call? What is it that you would be requesting in that moment?
I'm going with pork ribs,
very Texas.
Hash brown casserole, and some green beans.
Dude, that is a very Texas sounding meal, and I love everything about it. Everything.
Yeah, it's anytime my parents are like, "Hey, what do you want for dinner?" Because especially as the off season gets closer to the end of once spring training getting close, my parents start to ask me, and it's typically the last couple days it's always ribeye with some baked potatoes, and then the last day it's typically always pork ribs, hash brown casserole, and green beans.
God, that sounds good.
So,
that sounds so insanely good.
But yeah,
Creed, this is an open invite in the future. Every summer we roast. I live on a farm in northern Baltimore County. When you're up here, we roast a pig every summer, and so it's an open invite for you to come up at some point and enjoy some roasted pig. It is my favorite day of the year. It makes me feel the happiest. I don't know how to explain it. We did it once, and I said, I'm going to do that every year for the rest of my life. It's just that great. So it's an open invite for the future.
Awesome. Well, hopefully I'm there soon, and we can get that all situated.
I like the sounds of that, no doubt about it. You keep doing this, you're going to be here really soon. At Creed Willems 11, of course, is how you follow him on Twitter. And, of course, as Creed mentioned, going to be back home next week. They're down on the road this week, but the Tides will be back home next week and next weekend against Memphis. Free to get down there. Fireworks events, health and wellness days, so much more going on with the Tides next week. Creed, continue to kill it, man. Awesome to see the success that you're finding. Appreciate you taking the time for us, as always. Let's do it again soon, all right?
It sounds good. I appreciate it.
It's Creed Willems, who's having an outstanding start to the year down at Norfolk. Appreciate him hopping on with us today. When we come back in, we got some friends in studio with us. They're going to tell us a little bit more about how you can be safe, maybe as you're starting to think about betting the World Cup. We'll do that next. It is Glenn Clark Radio.
This is Stan the Fan. You know we talk all the time about our O's stepping up in the big moments, delivering when it matters most. If you've been injured in a car accident anywhere around Baltimore, that's your big moment, and you need someone who delivers. That's why I'm here to tell you about Warnken Injury Lawyers. They fight for Baltimore families every single day. Insurance companies play games. Warnken plays to win. So call 443-RESULTS. That's 443-RESULTS, or go to warnkenlaw.com. doorstep.com. When you need results, it's right there in the number 443-RESULTS.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
This summer, the world gathers on the biggest stage in sports, and only one place puts you in the front row for every thrilling moment. Live Casino. June 9th through July 19th, surround yourself with massive screens, trophy-worthy specials, and arena-sized energy. This isn't a game, it's history in the making. Watch the world play at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bill Ordine dives in on how different Preakness will be temporarily at Laurel Park and then long-term once it returns to Pimlico. Also inside, Luke Jackson learns more about what Trey Hendrickson will bring to the Ravens. And Karuga Koinange looks at how Samuel Basayo is influencing the Orioles' international signing efforts. Press Box is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region, including your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Thursday edition of the program. And you know that we've been talking about this for a long time, and it's nice when you have partners and you actually believe in what it is that they're doing. And Mike Kafis and Heather Eshelman from the Maryland Center for Excellence on Problem Gambling are in studio with us. And Mike, you and I have talked about this a lot over the years. One thing, every time we have these conversations, I always center it by, we understand that people want to bet on sports. And your guys' message is not, how dare you? Or it's not standing out there, outside the casinos, that you're going to go to hell or something like that. It's we want to work with you and help you because we know gambling can become a serious problem. We want to prevent that, or if you're there, try to work with you, and that's what I love about what you guys do.
Right. Glenn, we are never trying to take any type of gambling away that the state of Maryland has allotted for. All we do is help people who may have a problem and help educate people who aren't sure if they have a problem. And we do that through a variety of different ways. So we are going out into, like, I was just at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and we set up a table. People walk by, they point at me, and then they point at their friend, and they giggle. But
so, yeah, you might need to talk to him.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, maybe you do. Yeah.
And I've even had people grab the guy by the ear and go, "Ooh, you need
Let's
to
get
talk
over
to
here,
him."
right?
Yeah. I said, and I just give him a little card. Hey, take this. That's all.
Yep.
Right. Just take this, and ask yourself some questions.
100%.
Right. So.
Heather, talk me through, because I always do this every time. Right now, we are in the throes of the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Final, and now the World Cup's coming up. It is a major time of year.
Yes.
The line for you between someone who is gambling and someone who might have a problem, and it might be time to call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org. What to you are the examples for if the person is watching or listening right now, or again, if it's someone that is in your life that you're worried has gone from just having fun to, no, there's an actual problem here?
So it all comes down to time and money. So if you're seeing an escalation in the amount of time that you're spending on a gambling activity, then that's of concern. If you also see an increase in the money you're spending, then that's of concern. So those are kind of general, but then just basically it could go down to problems with relationships, or maybe you're having trouble focusing on your work because you're too busy looking at the stats for the sports.
Anger. Getting
So-
angry if you've been
Yeah.
losing. That's a good
Yeah, maybe if
indicator.
you've sent a message to a professional athlete, how dare you ruin my parlay,
Right.
perhaps you're the person that we're
Right.
talking to. And I don't say that to be flip, right?
Yes,
because like
it's
I think
true.
everyone knows that's gross and you shouldn't be doing that in general, but I think it's a bigger problem and maybe says something about you. If you have gotten to a place where now you are trying to go after someone, it really might be a statement about a problem that you have.
I call it gambling road rage. Right? You're so angry that you've lost, but you only have yourself to blame. You don't blame the odds makers. You don't blame anyone else because you took this as a way that you thought you were going to make money.
Mm-hmm. Instead of being a fun activity.
Exactly.
That, and which is what the concept of responsible gambling is. If you can do this and it's fun and you're betting an amount of money that, like, if you lose,
I say this all the time.
Right.
I don't go to the movies and rage text the actor if I don't like how the plot turned
you
out.
say that, but I went and saw Spider-Man 3 once, and I'm pretty sure that Tobey Maguire still owes me money.
Then you might have a problem.
I do. I have a Spider-Man 3 problem. I'm not going to lie about that. I have a Spider-Man 3 problem, and I will never be over it. It's 2008, whatever year that was.
I wish there was help for you. I really
There's
do.
not going to be help for that.
You're not getting your money
I don't
back.
think it's going to happen. No, but I know exactly what you're talking about, which is this is on you. You made the choice.
Right.
You did this. It is not someone else's responsibility. Right. You did this, and it needs to be something that you deal with and that you handle. Heather, if let's go from if you're the person, right? If you're the person that has questions, that it is like I don't believe I don't think I'm a gambling addict. But I don't know. If you're the person, what's the first thing that you should do if you're listening right now?
I mean, I would call, text, or chat 1-800-GAMBLER helpline. You don't necessarily have to sign up for treatment. You can.
Because I feel like there are people that say that once I've gone down once I've made that call or that text, there's no coming back. I'm an addict now. I've got a permanent scarlet letter. Can you explain what is the system that's set in place to make sure that, hey, this is confidential, this is not, we're not going to broadcast out to a million places like Steve's a gambling addict. How do you guys handle that so that it's not necessarily a moment that there's no coming back from?
Right. So the call center is completely confidential. They do ask some personal information just so we can track for our data records, but we don't really use that personal data for anything. But basically, you'll get a person automatically 24/7. You get a live person that responds to you, whether it via chat or
you need to say those
calls.
words live person again, because no one gets a live person responding to them.
In the middle of the night,
You're not talking
too.
to a bot. You're not talking to
no AI.
Claude. You're talking
Right.
to an actual human being.
Yes.
Who has been trained.
Right. To help you in those circumstances.
And some of them even are in recovery themselves, so they totally understand what you're going through. But basically, they'll talk you through, ask you questions, but to see what your individual situation is. But if you don't want to accept help, they'll give you some contact information so that if you think about it and you want to follow up, then you'll have it. But, they're not going to say you have to call anyone. But here in Maryland, it's very unique in that we do have people with lived experience that are from our state, that if you want to talk to them, they totally know the local area and they know the local resources. So, and they're all involved in Gamblers Anonymous. So if it gets to that point, they'll take you to the meeting. They'll go with you so that you don't have to feel alone.
That's incredible.
So,
Mike Kafis, Heather Eshelman are in studio with us. Mike, I say, because I genuinely believe that the stigma is something that people fear. And that there is a fear of, I don't want to make this call because I'm worried that when I make this call, that's the first step towards me losing my job or something along those lines. There is, however, in the process, if you're someone who knows, I need to stay away from casinos, I need to stay away from betting parlors, that can be part of the process that you can get help with after you make that call or that text.
Right. And well, two things. You don't have to call to be a part of what you're mentioning, the voluntary exclusion program in Maryland, to exclude yourself from gambling in your choice of the different types of gambling that you choose to opt out of. And that is helpful for people. And we do offer that to any of the people who do come to us for help. You do not have to call 1-800-GAMBLER for that. But I wanted to say, every type of service that we provide, every type of assistance and support can be done. If you do not feel comfortable calling, you can text, you can use a chat, and it's the same people you're talking to. But if you feel more comfortable, you can do it that way.
It's important. It's incredibly important. I learned something before we started chatting, because there's been so much made about the trouble for young men with sports betting. And I don't want to say that it doesn't exist for young women, or that, but like uniquely, it seems like young men have been the targets of heavy advertising, and you can get rich quick, and I did not know that you all have started a program that now maybe provides grant money or can help out on college campuses specifically, where we know I'm up anyway, I'm up late at night, and I'm chasing, and I'm trying to win money. Can you tell me a little bit about that and what that looks like functionally?
Sure. So basically, we've reached out to the 55 Maryland colleges and universities, and that
Quick, Griffin, name them all right now. All 55 right now. Name them.
Maryland.
Yeah. Oh, well, you got one.
That's like 5.
Yeah, right. That's a good point, actually. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was funny. Anyway,
I used to do this with him with counties. I think he can name 6. I think that we got
I can name more than that. It's like 8 now.
Yeah, okay. He's up to 8.
Okay, he's up to 8.
Yeah,
okay.
we're working on it.
Well, we know the counties because that's
what
we do.
But he's never heard in my life. I heard them all named when like school closings when I was a kid.
Oh,
that doesn't exist anymore. Now it's just you get a text, you're not going to school that day.
Right.
You don't care what's going on in Talbot County. It doesn't affect you whatsoever. I'm sorry.
But you hit all the Eastern Shore driving to the beach.
That is true.
That's where you see those.
I did not mean to derail you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So anyway, we work with the colleges and universities. They can get a small grant from us up to $15,000. But they're supposed to on campus engage the students, talk about problem gambling risks, and then they also offer the resources for help.
It's huge. That's huge.
So, and they do a lot with the little bit of money we give them. They do social media posts. They'll do tables like in the cafeterias. They'll do go to events and put materials out, and then they also do like newsletters. So it's a lot they do.
It's interesting because you mentioned being at the Orioles game, and I think we've seen that you guys have a partnership with the Orioles now. But is there more of a thought to like we need to go where these young people are and need to have some, because maybe that day we joke about these guys pointing out and say you need to go talk, but there is a reality to that. Has that been part of the thought process?
100%.
So we need to educate our youth on this issue. And fortunately, last legislative session, we were able to pass a bill that now puts problem gambling addiction education into the health education curriculums.
That's huge.
In our high schools.
There was another bill, I don't remember if it got passed or not, that was related to like the amount of time that you could spend on an app. Like where did that end up?
That was introduced but did not go anywhere. Sorry.
No, but that one was really interesting. I actually I do politics in another job of mine, and we had a conversation about it, and I said, this makes a lot of sense as a guardrail to say, hey, I can spend this amount of money, and the app needs to know. Now, I get it. Somebody would say, well, can't you go around that? You just go to a different app. It's like, I get it, but to just try to put one guardrail in place to try to mitigate the risk that's involved with this seems fairly well-reasoned to me.
Right, and we were hoping, too, that the sports books would set the limit, because you can go in and set limits on time on the sports books, but to make it more proactive and have it set already before people open an account, and then they can like make the time bigger if they want. But right now, the user has to go in and set the controls themselves.
Okay.
So
one of the biggest pieces of feedback we get from people who do have a problem is, oh, I wish I didn't have the ability to use my credit card.
Yes.
So you want to make a difference in your other
I got
political thing, man? Why don't you bring that up?
I got a lot of thoughts about that. What else right now do you feel like people need to know that for whatever reason they just don't at this point related to problem gambling?
I would say one thing that it's interesting you say that. I'm going to couch this with a small story, and that is that we are at places often, and people walk by and go, oh, I don't have a gambling problem. My biggest response to them is, good, help us. Can you please help us to help other people?
We're not enemies. We're not trying to fight you. Right.
And so it doesn't matter if you know someone intimately, or even if you are the unfortunate, in an unfortunate situation to be involved with someone who has a gambling problem. You may reach out to us. You can encourage them to reach out to us. All we're here to do is give somebody options and support. So we need help with that. So the biggest thing that I would tell someone is, help us help other people.
I appreciate that, right? You're not an enemy. Not an enemy. Heather, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say just be wary of prediction markets, because that is such a huge trend now in gambling. They're not really regulated. They're here pretty much illegally in our state. But people are also, using sports, like just, micro bets within the game. And so prediction markets meet the definition of gambling, because you are putting something in of value and then on an uncertain outcome.
Doesn't matter who says otherwise.
No, I agree.
Doesn't matter.
wholeheartedly. Yeah, that's betting. That's what it is.
It
You can say you can call it trading because it sounds good, but it's betting. That's 100%.
So just be careful of what you're seeing online that looks like it could be gambling, because it probably is. So just be careful how much time and money you spend.
And the other thing I just wanted to add is, it doesn't have to be a legal type of gambling that you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're underage. It doesn't matter. Like we said in the top of this interview, we are here and everything is confidential. There is no repercussions if somebody, whether they're a child or an adult, that you've been on, offshore betting and things that are illegal in Maryland, but if that has caused you problems in your life, we're here for you as well. And that's important to tell people.
That's huge.
There's no consequence, and we will help you.
1-800-GAMBLER. Call or text just to start the conversation. 1-800-GAMBLER. HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. Mike, Heather, truly appreciate the work that you're doing, and I mean that. It will save lives. It probably already has saved lives. Thank you for that. Continued success, and look forward to seeing you guys again real soon.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. We'll come back in and wind things down for a Thursday edition of the program. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
This summer, the world gathers on the biggest stage in sports, and only one place puts you in the front row for every thrilling moment. Live Casino. June 9th through July 19th, surround yourself with massive screens, trophy-worthy specials, and arena-sized energy. This isn't a game, it's history in the making. Watch the world play at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, ICAR Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
This is Byron Warnken. If you've been injured in Maryland, you know you need a great lawyer. Look no further than us, Warnken LLC. You've seen my picture on billboards around town. You've seen me on TV. Now I'm lucky enough to get to be here with Stan. Please give us a call. 443-RESULTS. It is not just a phone number, it's a mission. 443-RESULTS. Or visit us online at warnkenlaw.com. That's WARNKENLAW.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Thursday edition of the program and start to wind things down for today's show. John and Little Rock. Like clockwork, Drew anoints Elias as Executive of the Year, and last night they go back to crap. Yeah, I mean, it was way over the top, and I think Drew was doing shtick yesterday. I don't even know how serious Ken was, as much as Ken just wants to fight because he just wants to be a rabble-rouser.
Because he's bored. And
like, as I said yesterday, I think Ken wants to fight with Jason Lockenfor. I think that's what it is. Like, I think Ken just couldn't say that out loud, and I'll say it out loud for him. Like, anyone who I'm not trying to be a jerk to Jason. If you get worked up about anything that Jason Lockenfor has said, that says something about you, not him. I say the same thing about Steven. If you ever get worked up about that, that's a you thing. There was no reasonable conversation that was being had that Mike Elias was garbage or incapable. There was a reasonable conversation, and could still be a reasonable conversation, about the measurement of where the Baltimore Orioles are now 7 years?
8?
Yeah,
wait, what?
2019 is when everything started. 2019.
So 7, yeah.
Yeah. Well, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I mean, 8th season is this year. 7 years, 8th season, whatever you want to call it, into the Mike Elias era. That is a reasonable conversation. And as I pointed out, winning 8 of 11 is fun, but suddenly believing that means that you're well on your way to winning the division, like, stop. That's not reasonable. I think the Orioles are closer to the team that we have seen recently than they are to the rock bottom version of this. But how much closer? I don't know. Don't know. I keep telling me about how the pitching goes. Like, we are getting closer to moving Shane Baz into the
feel really good every
comfortable, right? Like, comfortable.
You're not really good yet.
Not an ace, but like that. But comfortable. The caveat being, we've put Brandon Young in that department, and I don't know if the next start could be when Brandon Young turns back into a pumpkin. I just don't know what Brandon Young is. So even if I give you Shane Baz, I still feel like that number is 2.5, 2 2/3, 2.7. It's still not 4, definitively. It's definitely not 5, and that's problematic. So, yes, the conversation yesterday was Ken went too far the other way. Way too far the other way in that conversation. But, maybe at the end of the year, who knows? Maybe Brandon Young will have stayed exactly like this all season long that I'm confident in. I don't know. We'll see. And then there was something else that somebody messaged me about today, and I just wanted to make sure I got it in because we don't do shows on Fridays anymore. There is a Creed Willems fan Twitter that loves Creed Willems so much on Twitter and always gets in touch with us. This was Jeff. Okay. Jeff says, Glenn, how much have you been paying attention to what's been going on Capitol Hill and the comments that Nick Saban made and the idea that Congress might actually be getting around to doing something? Can I be honest?
No.
Not as much as I probably should be given my WBAL job. Like they wanted me to talk about the what was the name of the bill that they were gonna bring up for a vote and they realized it didn't have support, and so they scuttled it, and that's why they trotted Nick Saban down there this week as they're trying to get this thing going again. I don't think that Congress should have anything to do with college sports. I think it's an abomination that this is going on. That's my Glenn Clark opinion. I don't think that the United States Congress should be involved in the business of college sports. I can't believe that any of us are okay with that.
Called the Protect College Sports Act.
Yeah, there was another one. There was
a separate one?
There was one that had another name that they brought up that they realized they couldn't get support for it, so they scuttled it, and now they're trying to come up with something else. This was a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
I can't believe that we're going along with this. And I say not to say it might end up having some sort of good result, maybe.
Should this just be more of an indictment against the leadership, the current leadership of the NCAA, that they can't figure it out?
Why does the NCAA exist?
Well,
if Congress is going to run college sports, what is the purpose of the NCAA? Just have Congress run the basketball tournament. Why don't we have the senators decide how many teams should be in the playoff? What? And I mean this because it makes me want to say the F word. What in the F are we doing? And I said this the same. I think Army-Navy should have a standalone spot. But I think it's ludicrous that the President of the United States can put out an executive order and we all just say, like, oh, all right, I mean, that's what it is. You put an executive order out. Can he just put out an executive order that says I have to have pigs in a blanket for lunch today? What are we doing? And this isn't even me railing against big government. Like, this is bare minimum functionality type of stuff. If I can't manage Griffin and say, you need to do this today, you need to do this today, you need to do this today, that's an indictment on me. What it shouldn't be is Congress coming in today and saying, let's tell Griffin how to do his job. What in the world is going on? Did I miss somewhere where the NCAA became an arm of the federal government? Did that happen and for some reason everybody got together and said, don't tell Glenn? This is beyond a joke. This is an American embarrassment. The only thing that I can get is that all of the schools have just decided whatever the rules are, we're going to fight against them if they're just NCAA rules. So the only way for us to be willing to go along with any of the rules is if it's an actual law and there's risk that we might go to jail. Because it's very clear. Like, it does not matter how much you've cheated. We're going to sue. I mean, my God, the quarterback at Texas Tech, everyone knows that's cut and dry. It's cut and dry. That kid should not be playing college football. He bet on college football. It's so simple. But if he doesn't, we're not going to be as good. We are not that far away from, yeah, this guy might have stabbed someone in the middle of the street, but like, dude, he's good at football. If the law doesn't save us, we're not going to choose to enforce any rules. So we have to make it law. How twisted is that? So no, I got to be honest, I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to it because it is deeply embarrassing to me. This is a deeply embarrassing moment. As far as the actual topics they're discussing, spare me. I don't remember who the coach was last week that was bellyaching. I think it was Signetti. It's like, I just don't know how we can afford some of these players. Sir, you do not have to pay them that amount. I saw on the secondary market how much tickets cost to the Tom Morello thing, which apparently John in Little Rock got tickets. He's flying up from Little Rock to come to the Tom Morello, whatever that show is at Merriweather. I looked at how much they cost in the secondary market, and you know what I said? I can't afford that. I'm not going to pay that. I'd love to go to the World Cup with my kids. I'm not going to pay those prices. Kurt Signetti, these guys just cost too much. Okay, then don't pay it. It's that simple. But if you do, don't come begging for someone else to bail you out. You made the irresponsible financial decision. Holy F. How lost are we about this subject? If you think a player isn't worth the amount of money that they want to play football for you, you know what you say? Sorry, no. That's that. It's make me in charge. Make me in charge.
You're just gonna say, all right, make you in charge. What how do we solve it?
You,
me,
Kurt Signetti.
I'm Indiana.
You have a budget, and if the player doesn't fit your budget, you don't get them.
So it's baseball, so the Dodgers can give Shohei $700 million, and
that's too bad.
We can give, so one team can give.
But what you don't get to do is say, well, we're gonna have to get rid of the swimming program. We're gonna have to do all. Spare me.
So
then you solve it. Then you work together with the other schools and say, hey, we need to come up with a number. We need to set a spending cap.
So and that's how we're here, right? Like they're not doing that.
They're not willing to.
Yeah.
And they're so fearful of losing that they're asking the government to save them. Do you understand how twisted that is? We are such a deeply embarrassing society. It's so deeply embarrassing. And again, the kids are the bad guys. That's what they just want so much money and they're not worth it. Then don't pay it. If they're not worth it, then you shouldn't be bothered by the fact that West Virginia paid it. You just said they're not worth it, right? Then why does it bother you that someone else is willing to pay it? If you think they're worth it, then you pay it. How hard is this? God, it is a pathetic time. It is such a pathetic time. And the same people are the same people that rail about big government, that are begging the government, begging them to save them. This is as sad gets. Sorry, not a sermon, just a thought. You want to do a tidbit? I got a meeting today. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you by the government bailing us out. It's brought to you by the print issue of Press Box. Still available for a little bit. Like a week and a half at this point is all that's left on this one. Bill Ordine's cover story about the future of the Preakness. Go pick it up today at your neighborhood Baltimore area High's Dairy stores for free, and you can read it at PressBoxOnline.com.
Sorry, not 24. 27. Well, gosh, I'm all over the place. 17 years ago today, Randy Johnson became the 10th man, the most recent man to join the 3,000 strikeouts, 300 win club. 9 others with 3,000 strikeouts, 300 wins.
Steve Carlton.
I believe he was not. No, sorry. Yes, he is. Yeah.
So he became the 10th?
Yes.
So nobody's done it since then.
No one else has joined this club since Randy Johnson.
So now I got to figure out
since professional photographer Randy Johnson.
Right. Well, I'm just trying to think of his contemporaries now. Like Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens is on
So
the
he
list.
did it like a year before or something like that.
Probably a few before. He has 350 wins, and Randy finished his career with 303. So
Jesus.
Yeah. So Clemens probably reached it at least 3 or 4 seasons. 5.
Cy Young.
Nope.
Walter Johnson.
Walter Johnson is on this list. I believe he is the creator of the 3,300 club. 3,500, over 400 wins for Walter Johnson.
How about
Walter Johnson has the most wins among any.
I just feel like Maddox.
Yes. 3,300.
How about Warren Spahn?
No Warren Spahn.
How about Don Sutton?
Don Sutton on the list.
How about Bob Gibson?
No Bob Gibson.
How about Gaylord Perry?
Gaylord Perry.
How about Phil Necro?
Phil Necro.
How about Bob Feller?
No Bob Feller.
How about Dizzy Dean?
No Dizzy Dean.
All right. How about...
You only got 2 left, right?
I've got 1, 2, 3, 7. Yeah, plus
Randy
Johnson.
Yeah,
so
2 left.
It's not Palmer. Damn.
Not Palmer.
I know that. That's why I said it's not Palmer.
In case you were wondering.
Is it Palmer?
It's not Jim Palmer.
Tom Seaver?
Tom Seaver is on the list. Just barely. 311 wins for Tom
Sounds like
Seaver.
he's on the list. You love doing that.
Well, I'm just trying to bridge while you're thinking. I'm just trying to bridge the...
Oh, did I say Nolan Ryan?
You did not. Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan
on this list as well.
What are we doing? All right. Very good. Very good. Now, let's get to... oh, boy. Well, it makes sense because we did it at a different time today, so I could see why we'd be struggling.
There we go.
Oh, okay. So now you want to do tubular? Is this an okay time?
I'll tell you when.
Okay. Now?
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
It's the second women's semifinals. So Mira Andreeva, as I mentioned, is already into the final. This is an insane story. Maya Walinska is up a set and is a set away against Diana Schneider. She's a set away from reaching the French Open final. At the moment, Maya Walinska would have to go through Wimbledon qualifying in order to get into Wimbledon.
Wow.
That's how far off the radar she is. She's a set away from going to the women's French Open final on TNT.
If she makes the final, does she automatically qualify for Wimbledon?
I think,
or do they waive it or something?
I know. I mean, it's too late. Like at this point, I believe that she would have to win just to get an exemption into the field. It's nuts, man. Like, there is a scenario where she's a finalist, because I still think she's going to lose to Andreeva even if she gets in. But that she's a finalist at the French Open and still has to go through qualifiers at Wimbledon. Like, it's insane how off the radar she's come from. But kind of a wild story. So anyway, that's going on right now on TNT. Here's what else is coming up totally tubular-wise. Orioles, Red Sox, matinee rubber match on Masson. Trevor Rogers and Brian Bayo is going to start. There was a lot of, like, is there going to be an opener, and then they go with a bulk guy? Bayo is going to start for the Red Sox. That's also on MLB Network and the rest of the country. Stanley Cup Final Game 2, Golden Knights Hurricanes tonight at 8 o'clock as the Hurricanes look to tie things up at home. And Game 2 of the Women's College World Series Final, if Texas wins, they're the champions. If Texas Tech wins, they force a Game 3. That's tonight at 8 on ESPN. Non-sports.
Just like two things. Welcome to Wrexham, another episode of that. And then on Netflix, kind of a weird, I guess it's not weird. I mean, it could be a book clubber for you. There's a documentary. Mm-hmm. There's a series. They're doing like a bio, like an actual like series, and then also there's a murder doc as well that goes along with this. The show is called The Witness, where there was a 2-year-old who witnessed his mother get murdered. And then there's a companion documentary called The Murder of Rachel Nichol as well. Both are out today on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like the 2-year-old, so it's about like the father and like
awful.
what he does with his child who
Jesus.
Witnessed this. It was
That is pretty terrible.
Yeah,
That
it
is
is.
pretty
It is.
terrible.
That's on Netflix. So.
Okay, great.
Book clubber.
Maybe, I don't know. That is dark.
That's dark.
Yeah,
I mean, yes,
dark.
it is dark, but I mean, like that's
You're
too
asking
dark.
whether or not it's dark.
I mean, it's too dark for.
I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, very good. Thanks today to Jeff Zrebiec, and thanks to Creed Willems. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the.
Seth Meyers is going to have Paul Rudd and Rafael Nadal.
Yes, absolutely. I would go to that tour tab at glennclarkradio.com. Off tomorrow. Stan will be doing his thing. I will be back on Monday. I'm on.
Oh, Brian Powell told me to say Happy Festivus.
Happy Festivus.
Yeah. Which I'm lost too.
Happy Festivus.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Because I don't know. Because it's almost the French Open final, or like.
I mean, I do enjoy the French Open, but I don't understand what he's referring to.
Like, what is Saturday?
Yeah,
the
what
6th?
is the Belmont?
Okay. Yeah,
what is
that-
Brian?
that- no,
what is?
yeah.
No, it's really what is Brian into that I'm. He's a Red Sox fan. I do know that. Is it related to?
He's a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, he's a Red Sox fan. Remember, it's the weirdest combination of. He's Navy football, Hopkins lacrosse, Duke basketball, the Patriots,
UFC,
and yeah, he loves the UFC. He's just it's such a weird. I don't know what else. What is that? What is Festivus?
I'd probably Belmont. Yeah.
I gotta think about this.
Who's gonna win the Belmont?
I'm befuddled. Anyway, the Bat Around Sunday night, and I will be on doing sports on BAL and 98 Rock tomorrow morning. So
Before it devolves into
what's that?
It's sports, or it's gonna be something else, or
No, I'm just doing updates. That's it. I'm just doing. I'm not hosting.
Talk
tomorrow.
about what Nick Saban, what the latest from Nick Saban on Capitol Hill.
It's exactly what we'll be doing.
Golden Tempo's gonna be in the Belmont. So is that one Renegade?
It's not the Belmont. There's something else. There's something. He's talking about something else.
Renegade is the favorite. Chief Wallaby.
I don't know what it is that he's
most
talking
favorite.
about, but it's something. Anyway, let's wrap.
Only a
I
nine-horse-
have a 1:15 meeting today.
Only a 9-horse field.
Oh, what's going on there?
How much is it usually?
I don't know.
feel
I mean,
it's
it
usually
always
more.
depends if
Yeah.
like this one. It feels like there should be more horses in. I guess I just think that the
Belmont should want everything to move back too, right? Like.
It's tough, man.
No one cares at all about Belmont this week.
I know. I'm aware. It's a whole.
I forgot it was until until Brian told me Happy Festivus. Yeah.
What is that? Is Seinfeld streaming on something? Like, what is going on?
I think it's still on Netflix.
What am I missing? Why would this be a particularly happy time in our lives? What am I doing this weekend? It's my son's birthday. I got that going for me.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. He keeps
Today
asking
or
me
Saturday?
every day. He's asked me every day for the last 2 weeks. What'd you get me for my birthday? Nothing. I'm gonna slap you upside the head if you keep asking.
He said because you were airing your grievances against Congress.
Oh, all right. Airing of the grievances. Okay.
Oh, okay. Happy Festivus.
Brian, we used to do that as a regular Friday segment years ago. I mean, like a decade and a half ago. I did an airing of the grievances as a regular Friday segment where you get to the end of the week. Let's get everything off our chest that we need to get off for the week. And so he particularly loves that. And I always did a bit where, like, the last one every time for me would be, and what the hell with the weather, man? Because it was, Maryland. And so you could always complain about the weather.
Good weather this week.
Yeah, this week has actually been great. Yeah. So Brian loved that segment. It was his favorite segment in the world. And he would always request that I do airing
Until
of the
Fighting Words
grievances.
came around. And then
He just really likes it when I lose my mind. That's really what it is. Brian likes it when I fly off the handle. I try.
So whenever Drew's here.
Did I fly off the handle yesterday? I don't think I did.
Yeah, I guess not.
Now it's just me trying to rein him back in. That's all that is. All right, I got to go. Yeah, you got a thing to do.
Yeah, I got to go too.
All right. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel, the Baltimore Orioles, Costa Sim, Baltimore Area High's Dairy Stores, Leading Edge Auto Body, Warnken Law, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Cruise Maryland, CountySports.zone, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com, the Maryland Department of Health, and don't forget, Stan the Fan, Ross Grimsley, and Luke Jackson talk baseball with you every Monday. It's brought to you by Warnken Law. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great weekend. Go Birds. Duke sucks.